get your lower body moving. Feel free to pause to put some music on, to grab a pillow or a towel if you ever find you need a little extra support under your knees or hips, just for some added comfort. Make sure you've got some water handy, and we'll get started. We're going to begin laying on our backs today. You can have your feet planted into the ground, about hip width apart. Hands can come to your sides. And just taking a few breaths here. This big inhale through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. On your next exhale, I want you to tuck your tailbone under and press your lower back into the ground. Inhale, create a little bit of space under that lower back. Exhale, we tuck our pelvis. We feel strong through our core. Now, keeping that pressure through the ground in our lower back, we're going to start to make circles with our arms. So just reaching all the way up overhead, sweeping those hands down towards your hips. Feeling nice and grounded, planted through your shoulders. Your hips are supported by the mat. Good, one more here. Keeping your hands rested down by your hips. We'll stay grounded through our feet. We're going to take a nice inhale to prepare. As we exhale, I want you to press up through your feet and lift your hips off the ground. Nice slow control back down. You can still maintain that gentle tuck of our pelvis. Press and lift. We want to feel nice and strong through the back of our legs and glutes. One more, and then I want you to hold at the top. We're going to do some little pulses here, evenly distributing that pressure through our feet, and hold up nice and high for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We can slowly lower back down. We're going to hug those knees into your chest and just a little soft sway from side to side. Good. Placing those feet back down on the mat, we're going to go back into those bridges, but we're going to add something a little bit different. So inhale to prepare, tuck that tailbone under. We lift our hips off the mat. This time we're going to float our right foot off, bring it up into tabletop, and then press your foot back down and switch. So we're going to alternate sides here. We're trying our best to keep our hips up if we can. Taking it nice and slow so that we're bringing our knee up with control and placing it back down. So really working one side at a time here. Good. 2 more. And we're going to try our best to keep our hips lifted here. The next time you bring that right knee up, we're going to keep it in our tabletop position, so our knee's tracking over top of our hip. Now we're going to try to tap our hip down on the ground. So left foot is planted, tap, and we press, lift those hips so we're strong through our left glutes. Lower, press. We've got 3 more. 2, and last 1. Good. Try your best to keep those hips up. We're going to switch sides here. So lift that left knee, hover it into your tabletop, feeling nice and strong and supported through that right foot. And we lower our hips down. Little tap, press up through that right foot. Good. 3 more. Nice and slow here. And 1 more. Good. Keep those hips up. We're going to lower our hips down. And just 5 regular bridges to finish off here. 3, 2, and last one. Good. We're going to hug those knees into our chest. Again, little soft rock from side to side. You can place your left heel down on the mat, cross that right ankle over top of that knee. We can stay here if this feels like enough of a stretch. Otherwise, we're going to lean up, grab onto that left thigh, a gentle pull towards your body, and we can extend that left leg up towards the sky and then bend at the knees. We want to keep things moving here as we prep our body. You want to add a little point and flex of that foot at the top, or you bend back down, maybe a little rotation of your ankle. Whatever your body is needing today. Good. We're going to plant that left foot on the mat. Your arms can come out to a T position. And we're slowly going to lower our legs to the left side. Nice rotation through our spine. And then over to the right. So taking it nice and slow. You don't have to go all the way to the ground by any means. Everybody's body is different. Everyone's mobility. We always want to stay in a range of motion that's going to feel good for us. Good. Coming back through center, we're going to uncross those legs. This time your left ankle is going to come over top of that right thigh. Again, we can stay here for a moment if this is all that we need today. Otherwise, we can lean up, reach through that little hole we've made for our figure 4, grabbing onto our right thigh. And when we're ready, we can extend our right leg up towards the sky, bending at the knee. A little hamstring floss here. We want to add a little point and flex of our foot, and then come back down. Good. Maybe a little rotation. 2 more. Last one, and we'll return our foot down to the mat. Again, arms can come back to that T position or cactus, wherever we're comfortable. And we're softly going to lean those legs. Use your core to lower a little bit, lots of control. And then roll over to the other side. Taking nice deep breaths. Listening to your body, checking in, seeing where maybe we're feeling a little bit stiff today, a little tense. Is there any way we can move differently to feel any better? Good. Uncross those legs. We're going to bring our feet to the outer edges of our mat. Try to create some space between your knees as well as your feet. Hand can come towards your hips if that's going to feel good. And we're slowly going to lean both knees towards the left side, lower down, again, whatever distance or range feels okay for you. And then starting with our outside leg, swish them all the way over to the other side. The little windshield wipers here, just back and forth a few times. A little more movement through our hips. We're feeling good. Wonderful. The next time that you roll over to one side, we're going to lean all the way over. So we're going to stack our knees on top of one another, and our hips are also stacked. We can lay on our bicep for a little support, or if you've got that pillow, you can also come up into your hand, whatever's going to feel best for you. Starting off, we want to make sure that we're drawing our ribs gently away from the mat, just so we're not dumping into our shoulder, or if you find that a little bit too challenging, we can just lay our head down. So knees are stacked. We're going to start by making some small circles with that top leg. So just lifting your knee, you're going to keep that bend, and just opening up through your hip, lifting through your knee, bending that foot towards that back wall. Take a little pause, and we're going to go the other direction. You can always start these really small too, depending on how we're feeling. Good. Now we can extend that leg down to the end of our mat. We're going to point that toe down, lift your heel towards the sky. Again, rolling forward to make sure that we're stacking our hips on top of one another. And we're going to lift that heel towards the sky and lower back down. And trying our best not to let it drop. Good. Let's do two more. We're going to keep that leg extended. Point that toe. We're going to bring it forward. Sweep it up to about in line with your hip. Flex that foot and paint it all the way down to the end of your mat. Again, point. Trying to keep that leg hovering around hip height if we can. Three more. And as we end the last one, I want you to float that foot about hip height, point that toe, and we're just going to make some small circles here. Good. Take that little pause, other direction. 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. Lower that leg down. We're going to come onto our backs. Feet come to the outer edges of your mat. Back into our little windshield wipers here. And then the next time those knees roll over, we can stack onto our right side or whichever side you weren't on before. I'm just going to flip around so that you can see me a little bit better. Again, whatever is comfortable for your head, we stack those knees on top of one another, hips are stacked, and we start off with those hip circles. So lifting your knee up and a little rotation. Good. We're going to extend that leg nice and long to the end of our mat. Point your toe down, your heel's coming up, and when you're ready, we're lifting and lowering. Always key to make sure those hips are stacked so that we can isolate the right muscles. Good. The next time that we come down, we're going to point that toe around hip height and sweep that leg forward up in line with our hips. Flex that foot and sweep down to the end of your mat. Taking it nice and slow, trying not to swing. Two more. Last one, we hover around hip height, point that toe, make those little circles. Beautiful, take that pause, other direction. Three, two, one, Perfect. Lower that back down. We're going to roll over into a tabletop position. So I'll just face the front so that you can see me a little bit better. We can bring our knees to the outer edges of our mat or keep them in the center, whatever's most comfortable. Hands come to the front. We sink those hips back. Drop down into our child's pose. Raise it. We're a little bit more rounded through our spine for our shell stretch up on our fingertips. Good. Coming to that tabletop position, even though it's lower body focus, our T-spine can always use some love. So taking our right hand, we're just going to lift up to about shoulder height and then rotate through our torso. Place your hand back down on the mat. Left hand raises to shoulder height, and we rotate, trying to allow your gaze to follow your fingertips. Just alternating sides here. Good. Now with your right hand, you're going to sweep that down behind your left. Thread that needle, a gentle press of your arm and shoulder into the mat. We're going to switch sides. Left hand is going to sweep down behind that right side. And one more time on either side. Starting off by coming into a kneeling position, we're going to stack our right foot planted in front. I want you to take your left hand and reach all the way up overhead. And squeezing onto those left glutes, we're going to shift our hip forward. Nice stretch down the front of our hip. And sweep that hand down. A little bit of ankle mobility here and through our hip. So our right knee, we're going to be leaning forward. It's okay if you want that knee to go ahead of those toes. We're going to sink down for 3. Again, just in a range of motion, that feels good for you. Now we're going to adjust that angle. So bring your foot out to about 45 degrees and sink down. And you can play around with different angles for your body. And lastly, out to the side, about 90 degrees. Take it nice and slow. You're feeling good. We're going to plant our hands down on the mat. I want you to keep that right foot extended out nice and wide. Hips are stacked over top of your knee. Hands come out front. We're going to lean our hips back towards our heel. Stretch those hands out nice and forward. Good. Just getting some nice movement and stretch through our adductor muscles as we rock back and forth. Good. One more. And then you can bring your knee back down to the mat so that we can switch sides here. So left foot is going to plant on the ground. Start by reaching that right hand all the way up overhead. Again, using your right glutes to press that hip forward. Nice stretch as we lean. Good. Sweep that hand down. Going forward again, this time with our left knee. Would lean forward. 2, 3, then out to 45 degrees. And out to 90. If we can, and always adjusting that angle, that's going to feel good for you. Keeping that left leg extended, we're just going to rotate our toes towards the front. Your hands can come down to the mat. Hips are stacked over top of that knee. Again, nice and strongly press through the floor, protect those shoulders. And when we're ready, we're going to sink those hips back, and then shift forward. You need to adjust the position of your knees, your feet at any point through any of these sessions. Feel free. You never want to feel stuck or uncomfortable. Good, one more. So tucking that left side back in. One more child's pose while we're here because it just feels so good. Sink those hips back. And we're ready. You're gonna lift your chest, plant those hands. We're gonna step back into our high plank just for a moment so that we can raise through our hips into our down dog or our pike plank. We'll pedal those feet out. Nice stretch through the back of those legs. Again, always strong, pushing through the mat, protect those shoulders. That we can tiptoe our feet towards our hands. We need to keep a soft bend in those knees. We can. Just let your upper body hang nice and heavy. Maybe hold on to those elbows or place our hands on the mat. A little shift to those hips from side to side. Good. We're going to reach those hands out to the side as we slowly roll up and overhead. And swing them down. What we can do now is have our feet about hip width apart. And as we reach our hands forward, we're going to hinge at our hips and push our hips back. So just a nice little stretch through the back of those legs as we reach. And come up onto those tippy toes. Sink those heels back down. We reach forward. More of a hinge right now. We're going to get into some squats shortly. Up on those toes. Good. 2. And last 1. Standing nice and tall, we're just going to roll those shoulders back. I want you to extend your right heel forward. We're going to take our hands and just hinge forward, sweep down to frame our leg, and then we're going to switch sides. So standing tall each time. So we want to just feel a nice stretch down the back of our legs. Beautiful. One more on either side. If you notice some changes, welcome back. I'm just a girl with no iPhone storage. So we're going to try this again. I believe we left off with our squats. So we're going to let our feet find the outer edges of our mat. Feel free to tilt your toes just slightly outwards. We want to ground through those heels. Take a nice big inhale to prepare as we sink down, sit those hips back. Exhale, we come back up to standing. So we're going to reach those arms forward. Keep that chest lifted. You want to sink down so your thighs are about parallel if you can with the ground. Strong through those heels. Nice big reach forward. Beautiful. We've got 3, 2, and last one. I'll face the front so you can see me. We're going to start by lifting our right knee up to about hip height. And then we're going to plant it back down. And left knee lifts. So we're just doing a little march here. Shifting our weight from foot to foot. Trying to control that knee all the way up, all the way down. If this feels good, we're going to add a little bit of a hip opener. Ooh, I'm feeling a little wobbly. So we're going to lift that right knee out to the side, tap your toe down, lift over and back down. Switch sides, left knee lifts, tap down, and come back around. I finished recording the video, realized there was a big chunk missing. Went for a little run with the girls, popped in a small scale, and now we're back. Little adventure for the morning. Get one more. Perfect. Now we're going to spread our feet a little bit about shoulder width apart, stepping back for a reverse lunge. We're going to start with our right side here. So as you step back, you want to make sure you have a little bit of space between your knees as well. So we're stepping back on train tracks and not a tightrope. A lot more stability that way. Then we're going to lower that back knee towards the ground and then big press to come back up. We're going to return those feet to standing. So a little smoother this time. We step back, lower that foot down, that knee, pardon me, and back up to standing. So everyone's range of motion is going to look a little bit different. Take it nice and slow. You want to try to have both your hips, both your knees facing forward. Good. Two more. Last one, we're going to keep that foot planted back so our feet are nice and static here, and we're just going to sink down and up. Good. Down and up. Two more. Last one. We return to standing, and we're going to switch sides. Maybe shake those hips out a little bit. When you're ready, again, finding that with outer edges of your mat, I'll turn this way so you can see. We're stepping back with that left foot this time. Strong to return to standing. So just gently back, and we're nice and strong through those quads and glutes on our planted foot up front, that planted leg, pushing into the ground to come back up to standing. Good. The next one, we're going to stay with that leg planted nice and long, grounded. We sink down and back up. Down and back up. Three more. Good. Last one. Return those feet to standing and get a nice wide stance here. Arms are going to come into a T position. As we fold forward, we're going to take our right hand, sweep it down towards that left ankle, and then back to our T. So if we can keep those legs relatively straight, if we need to add a soft bend in the knee for comfort, we can, but the idea is to stretch through the back of those legs, get a little bit of rotation through our upper body. If we want some more rotation, we're going to take that free hand and reach up towards the sky. And you can allow your gaze to follow all the way down your fingertips as you reach up to the ceiling. Good. One more. Now into our lateral lunge, we're going to start by bending our right leg. We want to think about sinking our hips backwards, not to the side. So starting bending through your right, we reach forward, hips go back. Exhale, we come back up, nice and tall. Other side, sit those hips back. If your feet feel a little funny, feel free to wiggle them maybe a little further apart. Mine don't feel quite right, so I'm just going to adjust. Good. Sink down to whatever depth feels okay for you. One more on each side. Perfect. We're going to heel toe those feet back together. Step to the end of your mat to the back. Feel free to grab a little sip of water if you need to. Otherwise, we're just going to hinge forward. Plant those hands on the ground. Walk our hands out. So a little inchworm to our high plank position. We're going to take our right foot, step it on the outside of that right hand. So we can either stay here We can drop our back knee, or we can come all the way up to an upright position. So find what feels best for you. I'm going to keep my back leg lifted, right hand up towards the sky. We're rotating towards our knee, our chest towards our knee, but reaching to the sky. Place that hand back down. Other side. Good. One more time with each hand here. Take it nice and slow. Good. Hand comes back to the mat. We're going to step back into our high plank just so we can switch sides. Our left foot comes to the outside of that left hand. Again, drop that back knee or come to an upright position. And then our left hand reaches up towards the sky and back down. Right hand. One more time each way. Good. Plant those hands, high plank. We're going to bring our right shin forward. Extend that left leg back nice and long. We're going to do a bit of a pigeon rocker here. So you can plant those hands down in front. We're just going to lean forward and back. If you'd prefer to tuck a pillow or a block underneath your hip for a little bit of support, that might feel good for you. Perfect. Ground through those hands. Press up on that back toe. Lift your hips. Step back. We're going to switch sides. Bring your left shin forward. Extend that right leg long to the back. So the closer your foot is to your pelvis, the more comfortable it's going to be. You have your shin more parallel to the top of the mat. You get a deeper stretch. If you're able to do that, I want to be you when I grow up. A little rock forward and back. Good, and when we're ready, we're just going to sink back onto that left hip. Swing that right foot forward. I'll turn just so that you can see me. We can reach those hands out in front. We're slowly going to roll back all the way down. Plant those feet. We've got one more windshield wiper from side to side. We can hug those knees in towards our chest. Or soft rock from side to side. We can reach through those knees, grab onto those big or pinky toes, open your hips, extend your heels up towards the sky. And nice little shift back and forth here. Taking some nice deep breaths. Feeling nice and grounded through our shoulders. Lowering your feet down towards the mat. Feeling really supported through your hips. And if this is a movement that you're choosing to do today, I hope it felt really good. If this is setting you up for something else, I hope you feel ready to move. Thank you so much.